make some sautéed shrimp with garlic. And so first, I want to just talk about the shrimp itself. So a couple things to know when you're purchasing shrimp. So there'll always be a number next to the shrimp. And what that really means is the number of shrimp per quart of volume. So the higher the number, the smaller the shrimp. And so, you know, if you're first buying them, you probably don't want to do it when you're shopping online. You might want to go in and look and see what size that is. They also shrink a lot when you cook them. So if you want, you know, big, juicy shrimp, you want to get as small a number as possible. For saute, you probably don't want to get the smallest size because it will take a while to cook. But you also don't want teeny, teeny, tiny ones unless you're going to mix it into a stir fry. So the higher the number or the smaller the shrimp, also the less expensive they tend to be. So that's one way that you can, you know, adjust for budget. And then they come a few different ways. You can get them whole with the peel on. You can get them like easy peel where they're deveined, which is what we have here. What someone has done here is they've actually taken out the intestines. So to do that, let's say we had a whole shrimp that had not become easy peel or had the intestines removed. You would take it around the outside curve here. You would run just down the center line. You'd run your knife to slit through that exoskeleton. Then you'd be able to pull the peel apart. And then right along this ridge in the back of the shrimp, there would be a black line, and that would be the intestine. You want to pull that out, otherwise you're eating the intestine of the shrimp. Right, so since that's already been removed in this one, but everything else is still there, we just will pull apart where that slice would have been, and then you can pull the opposite direction, and then the exoskeleton and the tail come right off. Put that there. I just have a couple of those, so I'll show you that one more time. All the other ones, this has already been done, it looks like. So again, we just pull that peel loose. You can see why it's called easy peel. You can pull it right off. The more processing that's done, so if they're already peeled, that's again going to add costs. The whole ones without anything done are the cheapest, and the fully peeled ones are going to be more expensive. So when they're like this, they're ready to stir fry or saute. If you want to keep the tails on just for appearance, you can. You just want to know that that's going to be messier to eat because you wouldn't want to eat the tail. You'd have to pull it off, but the rest of it is edible here. Now we're going to heat our burner. If you want to use a really small amount of oil, you can use a nonstick pan. We're not going to have this quite the high heat that we would have for the stir fry, so that would be okay. And so kind of medium-high heat. And just like the other times, we're going to get our pan warm, we're going to get our oil warm, and then we're going to add our shrimp. If you don't want to add oil, you could also just simmer it in a little bit of stock. But this is definitely going to help convey the flavors. And then, because again, I like spice, we're going to add a couple pinches of chili flakes, which is a nice accent, and then we'll add garlic for flavoring as well. I have some minced garlic. And then salt and pepper to taste. And you can have this separate. It's really good in a pasta dish. You know, if you had a pasta with a light sauce, it's good in a stir fry. You could do it and add it to the vegetable stir fry recipe that we've also made. Or, you know, it would even be good in the curry. So you could add it to that as well. All right, so we have our warm pan. I'm going to add some oil. Okay. Wait till that shimmers a little bit. You can always test it by putting a little of your garlic in there. It's starting to get a little bit warmer. So I'm going to go ahead and add all my garlic. Using a lot here because really trying to infuse the flavor of the garlic with the shrimp. And then shrimp you cook quickly. So for seafood that tends to be quick cook, like shrimp or octopus, mussels, things like that, there's this idea that you cook them for just a couple of minutes or you stew them for a long time. So there's certain seafood stews where they might simmer for 30 minutes or more. And that's because if you cook between really short and longer, then these foods become very tough and chewy. So if you've ever had very chewy shrimp, it's just overcooked, but not overcooked enough. So we're getting this beautiful pink color on the shrimp. And then where the back was sliced open, it's going to kind of fan out. So it gives it a really nice shape. And so what we're looking for is that there's a little translucence to the meat of the shrimp, and we're waiting till that turns white, just so it turns white, and then we'll remove it from the heat. And then it's nice if you have another bowl or serving dish to put it on, because there's going to be some carryover cooking. So I'm going to season it with a little salt and pepper. So the chili flakes we talked about, geared toward your preferred amount of spice. Your little pepper. Just have some freshly ground black pepper here. All right, it is pretty much there. Maybe 30 more seconds or so. You can also tell if this is getting done by pressing on it. So you want to press on it when it's raw and then press on it again as it cooks. It will get firmer and firmer. And so when it doesn't have a lot of give left, then you know it's pretty much done. Always better to err on the side of just slightly undercooking. You could always add it back to the pan if it's not quite done. If you want to, cut one open on the cutting board, if you're kind of a newbie to cooking this, and then see if it's still translucent in the middle, it's not cooked. But if it's white all the way through, then you're good. It will continue to cook a little bit when we pull it out of the pan. Yep, so there's not much give left in these. These are done. And that was very quick. These are our sauteed shrimp with garlic and a little bit of chili flakes.